And also, something that I know that you cannot stand is the idea of the Greens with any more power. Well, remember, they are expecting to share power with Albo. They are expecting to be the co-pilots, to be the puppeteers pulling the strings of Aussie Joe Biden. And just like Joe Biden pretended to be the man in the middle who's definitely not woke, definitely not crazy, his administration is madder than Jimmy Carter's. And you know exactly what's going to happen if Bant and his gang get any more power. Well, today they released a list of demands from their future puppets. Should the election deliver a hung parliament, or even if Labor got a majority, God forbid, what they would do before they would pass bills in the Senate. Remember, this is the real thing you're voting for or against on Saturday.
And so we'll push the next government to act on the climate crisis. And our position during those negotiations would be stop opening up new coal and gas projects. But we also want to tackle the cost of living crisis, getting dental and mental health into Medicare, build 1 million affordable houses over the next 20 years and make childcare free. We want to see justice for First Nations people with progress on truth and treaty as well as voice, and also push to wipe student debt and lift support for people who are doing it tough by lifting income support.
Who pays for it? Who cares, right? These are just things that you say inside a sharehouse conversation in between breaks on Radio National. Fair income. That was their demands. Well, tonight they had their campaign launch. Despite the fact that they said that there were thousands of people watching it online, I'll show you that on YouTube they had 450 people that were watching. But okay, fair enough. They claim that they are this close to the dream, this close to the revolution.
Just a few hundred people change their votes this election. We can kick this terrible government out and put the Greens in balance of power.
Not factually true, but who cares? Just keep repeating it, right?
If just a few hundred people changed their vote, we could kick the Liberals out and put the Greens in balance of power.
And of course, Lydia Thorpe is guaranteed to be a senator in the next parliament because Labor has the Greens as number 2 on every ballot paper in the country, which means more of this.
I too want to acknowledge the traditional owners and acknowledge that we are on stolen land where sovereignty was never ceded. And we do a pretty bad job as white fellas in Parliament about telling the truth.
White fellas in Parliament. Now, of course, it was a launch that was full of fantasyland stuff, but the reality is, if you get Albo downstairs, you get the Greens upstairs. You get the Greens in the sidecar, the co-pilot, the ones who are throwing the street directory out the window and just doing it by vibe, man, where every turn will be left every single time until eventually they just go around and around and around and around, turning left all the time, and you pay for it. Now, this is an election where the suburbs have a say, where we can build a buffer against the idiocy of and lies of the Teals, where we in the suburbs and the regions can build a buffer against the woke revolution. If you are planning to protest vote, that's fine with number 1, but number 2, you have to choose a government, because if you do anything else, you get Albo and the Greens. So I sit here every night full of hope in the people who we live amongst, who we know secretly say to each other, can you believe this might be about to happen? Well, you can stop it, and you will stop it with your vote.